Hello and welcome to another DIY journey video, another one based around CCTV to add to the playlist that you'll see over on my channel. What I wanted to do with this one, and it comes from a fair bit of feedback from my first video I did on CCTV that's done tremendous on YouTube, is basically how do you do a basic setup. And so what I wanted to do with this video is sort of bring it from a DIY point of view. Now, a bit of a sore subject with some people, given that the Hikvision systems are more aimed at the professional market than the DIY market. They are accessible, hence I've got some, and I've had Hikvision systems for around 6 years now. I am by no means a professional when it comes to CCTV. But what I wanted to do is give my opinion on what a basic setup is for sort of your generic NVR, your network video recorder, and an IP camera, and what will get you going as a homeowner to have a security system working in your house. I'm not going to go into the depths of it all. I'll just look at setting the app up, getting the motion detection, and ultimately just a basic setup with your time and date. That will allow you then to go on, play around, and sort of improve quality, reduce quality, and sort of just gather what you need and what would suit your requirements. It is relatively straightforward. It's not massively rocket science, but I imagine compared to domestic or other systems, maybe like a Swan or definitely the Nest and that market, it would be a bit more difficult. Swan I've never set up, but I imagine there may be more guides to that. But yeah, so what I want to do is just do a quick basic setup video, and we'll take it from there. So what I'm going to do is we'll get the camera and the video recorder unboxed. These are new systems, never been used. I have opened them previously. I've got a network cable set up to the router and also the HDMI, so we can take you through all that. So I'll get the GoPro on my head and we'll do a bit of a point of view process, unboxing and getting it going. So let's get on with it. So what we've got here is a 4-channel Hikvision IP video recorder, and then what I've done is also got myself a IP camera, 8 megapixel 4K. I've not had any issues running 4 of these on a 4-channel. Whether you're better upping it just given the size of the quality of the image, I'm not sure, but I've not had any issues, so I can sort of say it will work if you wanted 4 of these on there to max this NVR out. My current setup is an 8-channel, but that's just because I need 5 cameras, so otherwise I'd have gone for this as well. So we'll put the camera to one side and then look at what we get in the box. So very well presented, and it comes with more than you think. Let's get in there. So you've got your normal sort of power stuff there. It is open, so we'll plug it in using that, and then you've also got your lead that plugs into the power supply there as well. Over this side it comes with a mouse in the kit. For the purposes of this video I'm going to use my wireless just for ease, and I'll leave that in here. Also, it comes with a patch lead or Cat5 Ethernet cable. You can use this to connect to the internet if needed, or you can use it to power your camera, but I can't imagine a camera is going to be 1/2 meter or whatever size this cable is, so yeah, I use that for the internet side of things, or I make my own. And then you've got the video recorder itself, very well packaged, and then underneath you've got your quick start guide. So talk you quickly through the video recorder itself. So that's your USB slot, which is where I put my wireless mouse, but you put your normal one, and it gives you your status, whether you're transmitting or receiving, and the power. Then on the back, that's where you plug your cameras in, so 4 channels here, and then if you've got any audio in and out there, VGA for seeing the network and the cameras. If you've got a VGA connection, I think that would be a PC screen, that type of thing, or nowadays more HDMI, which is what I go down and use the HDMI, which you'll see over there. The LAN, that's where you connect to the internet, so that grey cable in there, you would connect that to your router, and then you've got your power supply and your on-off button. So this particular video recorder come with a hard drive included. If they don't, this is what they'll look like. Sometimes they don't come with them and you just have to install them. You put 4 screws in there and then it slides in, and then you get access in here using those 2 screws, 2 there and 2 there, so 6 in total. The cover slides off and you can install it. I'll do an install of a hard drive at a later date when I get another video recorder to do, which I've got one coming very soon. So what we'll do is we'll unbox the camera and then get this all plugged in and set up. So the cameras themselves, obviously this is a specific one. This is a turret and the later turret. So in the box you get a CD, which you can use for, I believe that has instructions on it. Again, I don't really use it. That's what's needed, the tool to access, bit of a security screw or a Torx type bit. Then you get your template for drilling, mounting to the wall, and then a quick start guide again for that. I found it a bit more awkward to use a start guide, and it doesn't really give you much information of what you need suitable for plugging it into the MVR. So it's quite straightforward in this video. I'll show you that. Get some wall plugs, and then you've got the camera itself. You've got the waterproof gland there as well for connecting it. If you're using a junction box, I'd say you probably don't have to use that, but I would always use it where you can. It just helps any moisture stay out of it. And then you've got the camera itself. So this comes pretty much ready. You've got a cover that you need to take off, and then to access, you take that cover off. You've got your screw there, which allows you to rotate it. For the purposes of this video, we don't need to do that. And then you simply plug in using that, or if you have a separate power supply for it, if you're using this wireless, you would plug in with your power supply there. But for the purpose of this, it's power over Ethernet, so you just need one cable plugged into there. So we'll be using this camera as part of the demo. And that's about it for the camera. So what we've done is we've plugged your power supply in, the other cables in there, and then that just goes in there. To turn on, we do that here. So what we'll do is we'll get that turned on in a second. This is connected to my router, so that will give us the internet, and then this is the HDMI lead. So what we'll do is plug the HDMI lead in. So as you can see there, that just slots in, and we'll also plug the internet in now, and it can be loading. And then, so what we'll do is we'll get the TV switched on, and then we'll also turn on the MVR using that button there. So as I said earlier, I'll be using my wireless mouse just to make things easier, and we'll get switched on. Now you heard a beep there, don't worry about it, that's just it sort of engaging. And if you have just installed a hard drive, it will constantly beep until you reach a certain step, which I'll highlight as we go through. So I'll do this sort of live if you like, or real time. I may fast forward a few bits because I don't want this video to go on for too long. So just something else to note, this is an 8 megapixel 4K camera. Please appreciate that's a 720p screen, so it will not be 4K quality. The quality is actually better than I expected, but yeah, don't expect it to be absolutely brilliant just on the 720p, sorry. So we're greeted with the first screen on startup, which is language, fairly self-explanatory, and you've got the choice, but I'm English, I speak English, so we'll go with English. So this is the first area, and this is sort of your activation and the password that you will create to access this. But also in here, when you connect a new camera, it will use the video recorder's password for the camera as well. So if you were to sell that camera and plug it into another device, you would need to give them that password. Otherwise, reset it. I made the mistake and I had to give the gentleman my password and have to change them all. So yeah, so just a note there. So what we'll do is we'll do as password DIY journey. Don't worry, that definitely isn't my password for everything. So we've done DIY journey -1 and it tells us it's strong. So I'll use that password for the cameras as well. And then reserved email, don't know what that does. This is actually updated since the last time I've done it, so and that weren't on, but reserved email settings, I presume it does something with sending an email to you, but I've unclipped it for now. I've never needed it before. And okay, so you'll move on to this screen. The device is activated. Properly keep your password. Export to GUID file for password resetting. So what you can do is you can plug in a USB into the video recorder and save all your password information. So should you forget it, it's a way of activating. I've never done it and I'm not going to do it on this, but it's up to you whether you do that. And there is other videos on YouTube I've seen that explains that process. So like a smartphone, you need to create a pattern, so we'll just do that for now. There we go, and then that's the pattern we've set. So the wizard is sort of your setup, so we want that for now, and then we'll whiz through, and this is where your sort of device starts and you can set things up. So the first thing is the time and date formats. So we're in the UK, so we'll click GMT 0, and then we want day, month, year, and times aren't correct, but you can adjust them. I'm not going to do it for this, just for time on the video. So on your phone, you need to enable DHCP, and I believe that's a dynamic IP address, so it's constantly scanning for any updated IP addresses. So make sure that's enabled, and then move on. So we move on to this page. You set your app up. Now my internet is showing us offline, which is normally the case when you're just setting this up. Now what I tend to do is I forget about this at the moment, and I get the MVR set up and I get the camera set up, and then I call back to the getting the MVR on an app, just purely because you start messing about now when you could be spending time getting it at least set up. We'll not enable it just yet, and I'll keep moving through and we can get that to online, no problem. This, I believe, if you start looking down the port forwarding route, which I believe is a more secure method of viewing remotely, but I don't bother. I did do it to start with because it was the only way 6 years ago when I first started buying these systems, but now I just do it through the HikConnect app. So this is your hard drive, as you can see, 931 gigabytes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if it's a newly installed recorder that's not really been formatted, I think I would say that sort of means, or initialize, then as soon as you press that, tick that, press that, and that will initialize, sort of format the hard drive to this MVR, and that will stop the constant beeping. And you can follow it there. So there we go, and then we can move on. So this will highlight any wireless devices. I prefer hardwire myself for everything, so it's obviously not showing anything. And then for H.265, I believe that is to do with bandwidth, and it's a method of reducing the data recorded, so it doesn't take as much storage up on your hard drive. Now, I did have this enabled at my old house, and what I found is the recordings were very jerky, so I turned that off, and it was fine. However, do note that that takes up a lot more data then. I don't know if it's about 4 times less or even more, I'm not 100%, but it's just a consideration and worth a bit more research. Now this page is a new page, and it's not something I've come across before, but it's a good page, should I say. And this allows you, now before it was always set to continuous recording. Personally, I don't like that. I'd rather have motion. So what we can do is set all day motion detection recording of all channels. So that's done at this early stage, where before you had to mess around at a later date and do that. And that is basically your simple setup of the system. Now there is all the menus here. That is where you would view recordings off the MVR. You can also do it on the app when we get there. And then you've got other areas such as hard drive. You can see your capacity and other settings there. So we'll head back to the menu. You can sort all your parameters out for recording. So as you can see, that's green. Before that used to be continuous, but as said, I like them to be remote. Through motion. This page is where all your cameras go. So what we'll do is we'll get the camera plugged in and we'll see it come onto this screen, and that's sort of what you're looking for. It'll turn into a blue play button type sign. So we'll get the plugged in. So what I have here is just a normal Cat5 type cable. We'll plug it into the camera like so. Try not to make this look too messy. And then this plugs into the back of the video recorder, as you can see there. And then you will get some lights flash. There we go. So that's sort of initializing. So then we sit back. You will hear the camera click, and then we just wait for this to change status. So as you can see there, it's starting to detect the camera. It's already showing camera 1 there, and then this should turn to a blue play sign any moment. So now we're saying connecting, and there we go. So you can upgrade the camera there, but if we head over to live view, as you can see, it's there, bit of the screen. Please don't note the quality. This is not the right setup for that. So that's the first camera connected. If you wanted to connect some more, it's the same process and build it on. Now if you've previously connected a camera, or as I've said earlier, was on a previous MVR, a different one, what you will have to do is press and hold the reset button on the camera itself, power the camera up while pressing the button and keep it held for, I think it's 10 seconds, but it might be 30, and then release it, and it should reset the camera so it's applicable for this. So I'm not going to go through all these, but there you can change your camera name. I'll leave it for now because I don't want this video to keep going longer. You can adjust your brightness there. Again, I don't do that because I've found it makes the picture worse. But a key thing for me is adjusting the motion detection. So say I want to just detect motion that's in that area there. What you can do is you just click and drag and choose sort of the area one. You can do that. You can do click it there, click, click, click. Or you can press full screen if you want, or just clear it and not have it at all. So you need to make sure that's ticked, and then you can adjust the sensitivity there. 60 I found just too much. 40 is probably just too little, but you don't have an option for a middle one. 50 would just be nice, but you can determine that over time with how you do it. Your settings there, you can link it to any motion detection, notify surveillance center if you want it on your app. Always remember to press apply, or it won't apply the settings that you've just spent time doing. Another thing to note is privacy masking, so enable it there. Now, say that was your next door neighbour's drive or a children's play area, what you can do is press apply, and then that's put a privacy mask on that area. So if we go and view that, so now you can't see that particular one little area there. But what we'll do is we'll clear that as it's not applicable for us, and that's about it for the actual camera setup and for what would at least get you going. What I would say is have a hunt through, just go back through them all one by one, and you'll eventually find what you've got and what you want to adjust. Now in VCA you can have line crossing detection, intrusion. I did have them, but I think it's a bit of a gimmick, to be honest, and motion detection is absolutely fine for what I've required on my system. So what we'll do now is we will look at getting the app set up on your phone and take it from there. So we've got a camera connected, we've got it roughly set up, but again, as I've said, please do some research into if you want to delve into the likes of intrusion detection. But for now, we've got motion set up, we've got the camera set up, and we're ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this system on the internet and view it from our phones. So because we've spent a bit of time, we just need to put that in. So then we want to head over to configuration. Now this is sort of where the configuration is for the MVR. So here you've got your output. Now for us, the screen is 720, so we'll set it to 720 for now, and there we go. It's improved the quality ever so slightly, but yeah. Now to sort your, and this is where you do your time and everything, but we're doing network and platform access. So this is where you want to get the app set up. So what we'll do is we'll go over to the phone, and I'll record my phone screen so we can see that. So you want the Hikconnect app, and then get that downloaded and ready. So what we'll do is we'll put a verification code in. So let's say DIY1. I don't know if this actually needs to be 6, but we'll try it. Yeah, 6. So what we'll do is we'll do DIY journey 1 again. DIY, oh, help if I spelt it right. DIY journey 1 there. Click the terms and conditions, please do read them, as does everyone, and then we're here. Now this is a problem I've found and why I like to do this now. This is showing us offline at the moment. Now as you can see, it's just switched to online. So we've enabled it and we've pressed apply. If that won't change to online, check your connection, check the cable. If you're doing it through power line adapters, check it and make sure it comes online. Now what we will do now is head over to the app, go on the Hikconnect app there, and then what we need to do is add device, which will allow you to read the QR code. So there we go, and that's it added to your phone, and then you can view the cameras on your phone through there. So we'll click. So then what we've got is your MVR there, and then we can double tap and then you can view your camera on the phone, take screenshots, you can record if you want. Now once you've taken a screenshot, so let's take a screenshot now, you can tap there and then it'll all come up on your phone like so. So that is a real simple basic setup of the Hikvision system. Now it's not rocket science, and I hope it's helped your understanding and sort of take away a bit of nervousness with going with one of these systems. They're absolutely brilliant, and I self-taught myself, as weird as that sounds, just by YouTube videos such as this one and others out there. There are others out there with just a simple search. There's ones out there that will specifically go into intrusion detection, setting that up, line cross detection, motion and all the such things. And also, if you need to reset your cameras, again, I've touched on it, but I've not gone into depth. I didn't want this video to be a really long one. I just wanted to sort of cover the basics and take away any doubt that you would be able to set one of these up. As I've said, it's just a case of plugging the cameras in. They're pretty plug and play, and then we've got you onto the app, and then you can sort of get the cameras installed and take it from there, delve into the other stuff and see what you can do with it. As for the settings, such as the brightness and the like, I don't tend to alter that. I did alter it once and it made it horrendous, so I just reset them back to factory and left it at that. So I do hope you found this useful, and I hope it helps you go for a system that I think personally is really good quality. The support network is absolutely fantastic, and there's people, I mean, like myself, over on Instagram and over on here, where you can comment and I'll try and answer the best that I can, but also there's people out there that are professionals and on social media platforms, but people are always willing to offer help where they can. So yeah, if you do have any comments, please stick them down below or head over to my Instagram account, newbuild_DIY_journey, and I will always endeavour to answer any questions you have. So please do ask them. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. I really do hope it's helped, and please give it a subscribe for more journeys based around DIY, CCTV, and follow my latest project, which is the garden project. I'll stick this video in the CCTV playlist, so you'll be able to head over to it at a later date if you buy a system and then you need to just recap on what's doing. So thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed it, and till next time, I'll see you later. Cheers.